So let's just jump right into the Thursday night game from last night. Absolutely great game. Went down to the wire. Multiple lead changes in like the final 5 minutes. Real hectic. But Washington comes out on top 30-29. And unfortunately, the Giants start 0-2, which is definitely not a great sign. When you're losing division games real early on, this is, the NFL with their scheduling, not, really kind of hardcore this season, with the Dolphins, having to face the Patriots week 1 and then the Bills this week, 2 division games right off the rip. And then, having the Giants and Washington, both 0-1 teams having to face each other week 2. So one team, had to go 0-2, and that is unfortunately the Giants. So some teams having to kind of go with the, the division games right off the rip right here. And, with this longer schedule, now we got 17 games. And, it's kind of unfortunate that potentially the Giants season is potentially over by week 2. The schedule is not getting any easier. Kind of 2 little bit of softball games kind of right off the rip. And they dropped both of them. I mean, Broncos, Washington, those are winnable games, folks. But, the slow start against, Denver, unfortunately, they lose. And they had they didn't get out to the slow start here. They just, unfortunately, were a little conservative, had to settle for field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. And that was really kind of one of the big narratives of this Giants team. They just settled for field goals a lot of the time. And we're going to get down to the plays and the stats and all that. When we break down this game. But when we just look at their drives, came out to a great hot start, a touchdown on their first drive, 11 plays, 71 yards, 6 minutes off the clock to go up 6-0. That was great. So, they weren't getting out to that slow start like they did all of week 1. That entire game was a slow start for the Giants. And then they scored the touchdown on the last play of the game. And that's going to come back because, I was a little disappointed in Washington that was the first touchdown of the game, right? The Daniel Jones run up the middle for the touchdown. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about that. Let's go to that play quickly because I was a little disappointed that Washington, they didn't watch film from last week. We even saw this play, folks. So let's run the play of the first touchdown of the Giants and let me see if y'all see or remember what we watched when we watched our film review of the Broncos and the Giants. Let's see if this play rings a bell. So here we go. 7 minutes left. The Giants are at the Washington 6-yard line. Empty backfield, 5 wide. Folks, okay? Do you know what this play is going to be? Because when we were watching this live last night, we were like, hang on, I think we've seen this play before, and Washington got beat by it. So here we go. 2nd and goal, Daniel Jones, empty backfield, and it's just a QB draw, folks. Daniel Jones right up the middle for 6 yards for the touchdowns. But folks, why was Washington caught off by surprise, caught off guard here by this play? Because this is the exact same play that the Giants ran in the very last play of the game, folks. We watched the final drive in our Wednesday film study of this game, Broncos-Giants from week 1, and we watched the very last drive here for the Giants because we wanted to get a gauge of what this offense was all going to be about. It was the end of the game. They only had 7 points for the entire game, and, they used last minute and 20 seconds here. Even though it was a blowout, they were losing by 20. You can't win the game, no way. But, they kept the offense out there. They kept pushing the ball, and they did their offense. They did what they were going to do for really their entire playbook. They just put it out there on that last drive. So here it is, the very last play of the game in week 1. Here we go. 5 wide, Daniel Jones, empty backfield from the 4-yard line. What are they going to run? A quarterback draw. Daniel Jones right up the middle. Same exact play, same exact formation. When we look at the formation here from week 1, it's 3 wide receivers on the long side of the field, 2 wide receivers on the short side for the 5 wide here. And then it's the same exact formation here. 3 wide receivers on the wide side of the field, 2 on the shorter side, empty backfield. Daniel Jones hesitate, go right up the middle, right behind the center. So I was a little, disappointed that Washington didn't do their due diligence on the defensive end because we knew Daniel Jones was going to take off on this play. We know he's a great dual threat quarterback. We talked about it all the time, and we saw it absolutely last night, folks. Daniel Jones running all over the field. Sheesh. Do we have the big sprint play up? Where was Daniel Jones? It got called back. It didn't go all the way for the touchdown. But, man, oh, man, Daniel Jones was absolutely running the ball last night. And when we look at the stats, I mean, that's exactly what it was. He was the leading rusher for the Giants last night. 9 carries for 95 yards and the 1 rushing touchdown that we just saw. So, Daniel Jones' dual threat ability is still there. And we wish they would kind of use it a little bit more. But, you know, we think this was a decent building block offensively for the Giants, and now that they are starting 0-2, you know, they really have to kick it into high gear and have to start putting touchdowns on the board. The defense has to get a little bit better as well because, you know, I don't want to disrespect Taylor Heinicke, but you really should not be letting Washington score 30 points, having them use their second string quarterback, and I don't think Taylor Heinicke should have been the second string. I really think he should have been the starter, and we talked about that throughout the entire offseason. But, you know, he is, you know, their second string quarterback, and, you know, they don't have elite weapons. They have Terry McLaurin, who once again showed out in this game, and man, oh man, Terry McLaurin, you know, if y'all didn't really kind of recognize him as a A1 tier 1 wide receiver in this league, well, he just put the league on notice last night again, because the man had 11 receptions for 107 yards and a touchdown. He was targeted 14 times. We know, you know, Taylor Heinicke, Ryan Fitzpatrick, whoever's quarterbacking, I mean, you're going to go to Taylor Heinicke. He's your best weapon by far, hands down here. So, well done by Taylor Heinicke, still getting it done, still doing what he does out there. But what were we just saying? Taylor Heinicke. Yeah, I mean, this Giants team should not have let this Washington team put up 30 points. So the defense is going to have to kind of, you know, get a little bit tighter here. Offensively, like we've been saying, you know, you cannot be settling for all these field goals. They only put up 2 touchdowns the entire game. Every other score were field goals, folks, especially in the second half. I mean, when we look at their drive summary right here, they scored a touchdown on their first drive, a punt on their second drive, a punt on the third drive, a field goal on their fourth and final drive. So 2 scores out of 4 drives, that's not bad, but, you know, when you're putting in, you know, field goals for a couple of those drives, that's where it gets, you know, a little questionable. But then in the second half, you know, they were firing. They scored on basically every single drive in the second half. First drive, second half, a field goal. Second drive, second half, touchdown. Third drive, second half, another field goal. Fourth drive, second half, another field goal. Fifth drive, they have to punt. And then the 6th drive, another field goal. So that was really the only thing that killed the Giants last night, settling for field goals, not able to score, you know, in opponent's territory in the red zone. And that's just unfortunate. You know, and then Washington just takes advantage. We're going to watch this last drive right here. Taylor Heinicke, I mean, holy moly. I mean, the fourth quarter, the man truly came alive. It was highs and lows. I mean, they went down quick, 75 yards on 2 plays for the touchdown, and then he throws a pick, and then he has one last chance at a game-winning drive, and then he takes advantage of that. And so, Taylor Heinicke, you got to give the man credit for getting it done in the clutch. So let's start here with Taylor Heinicke and the stats and start talking about him. Here we go. So Taylor Heinicke slinging the ball all around the field. I mean, the man threw the ball 46 times, folks. Sheesh. You know, this, you know, he did play in week 1 because Ryan Fitzpatrick went down kind of early. So Taylor Heinicke did have, you know, the bulk of that Broncos game kind of under his belt right here. So this wasn't, you know, his first kind of game of the year, anything like that. But to still, you know, have confidence for this man to throw the ball 46 times, especially of what we kind of saw out of Antonio Gibson in week 1, when he rushed for 90 yards against that Chargers team. Real solid, great performance. And, you know, watching this game last night, you know, we really have to kind of start talking about Antonio Gibson more and start moving him. He's trying to get into that kind of A1 status, or tier 1, I should say, tier 1 status of running backs where we really don't have them. The only kind of real tier 1 running backs in this league that we really acknowledge as true tier 1 running backs are obviously Derrick Henry. I don't even know if I could put Delvin Cook in that category anymore just because of all the fumbles and not clutchness that we've seen out of him for the last 2 seasons. Yes, his yards are impressive, you know, rushing for like 1,300 every single season, having more yards every single season than the year previous. So I'll give him credit for that, but just the clutch ability. But, you know, tier 1s, obviously Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, all looking absolutely solid. But Antonio Gibson's trying to get talked about in that same category as well. So we're definitely going to be kind of focusing on Antonio Gibson a little bit more throughout this regular season because the man has just been getting it done. 69 rushing yards last night for Washington. Obviously, he led the team. He had 13 carries. carries for 5.3 yards average per carry. We will definitely take that. And then he, the best stat of the game, 2 receptions for 4 yards for Antonio Gibson. So the man is a dual threat running back out here, folks. Give the man credit. 4 yards receiving, yeah, yes, sir. But yeah, Antonio Gibson, man, give that man some credit. Loved what we saw. But back to Taylor Heinicke, slinging the ball 46 times. He went 34 of 46. So let's see what that completion is. Completion percentage is 73%. You can round it up to 74. It's 73.9. So yeah, I'll give him that. Man, oh man, 74% completion percentage. Absolutely fantastic, and coming up, absolutely clutch. We're going to watch those 2 absolutely clutch throws. I can't believe the man made them. And I won't spoil that, but yeah. So yeah, great completion percentage, 336 yards. The man was slinging it around. The man wasn't really dinking and dunking. And then when it came, time, hey, he was playing great game managing quarterback the entire game. But the fourth quarter hit, they were losing the lead. The Giants were putting up field goal after field goal. Luckily, who was it? Kenny Golladay that dropped that long ball that really would have iced the game. Luckily, he dropped that. But Taylor Heinicke going in the fourth quarter and throwing the ball in the fourth quarter, just taking that leap, believing in himself and airing it out. So, the fourth quarter, he really wasn't playing game managing quarterback where, he was just letting the defense get the stop and let, the wide receivers and the playmakers make all the big plays, just delivering the ball safely and accurately. The fourth quarter turned up and Taylor Heinicke turned up the heat on himself. He's like, I'm going to start slinging this ball around. And that's when we have, when we look at the fourth quarter here for the Washington football team, scoring a field goal, a touchdown, and then another field goal, 3 drives in the fourth quarter, all coming away with points, getting it done there. He did throw the interception as well, when really this was the time to just ice the game. You already had a 1-point lead. There's 3 minutes on the clock. Just move the ball in safely and accurately. And what does Taylor Heinicke do? 2nd and 7, this man just whips an interception out. The Giants played it perfectly. Do we have the interception up? I'm pretty sure we do. We got a lot of plays up here. Taylor Heinicke interception. Where is this at? Right. Is it this one? I think it's this right here. All right, here we go. Taylor Heinicke is about to just throw this wild interception right here. So, no, this isn't it. I might not have it up, actually. But yeah, it was real bad. It was not good. Is this it? This is it. Here we go. All right, here we go. This is the interception. Here we go. 2nd and 7 here for Taylor Heinicke. Sheesh, I don't know what he was thinking here, but I mean, let's set up this scenario right here because they're up 1 point, 27-26, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game. The Giants still do have 2 timeouts, so they can and will be stopping the clock after all the runs. 2nd and 7, they're at their own 22-yard line, so you don't have to throw the ball. You just want to run out the clock here. But, Taylor Heinicke being aggressive, the play calling being aggressive, I have no problem with that. You pick up like 2 first downs in this game is over. Yeah, when you're at home Thursday Night Football, you have the lead and this game's been going back and forth kind of the entire time. If you have a chance to kind of put away the game 100% by just picking up 2 first downs, either you do it running or passing, yeah, I'm going to be aggressive and I'm going to try and pick up those 2 first downs. So I don't care that, they threw the ball on 2nd and 7. I care that Taylor Heinicke was a little careless with the ball right here. So, good and bad here by both quarterbacks, Daniel Jones, Taylor Heinicke, and this was one of the bad here by Taylor heinicke. I mean, this defender here for the Giants was absolutely staring down Taylor Heinicke and waiting to jump this route right here. This route wasn't even open. Taylor Heinicke wanting to go to Terry McLaurin here in a clutch spot, but just stared him down. And, this was his read. He was going to throw here regardless. And, that's a bad decision that really almost cost him. It did cost them, but then he makes up for it. We know the Giants go down and score a field goal. That gives them the 2-point lead. And then Taylor Heinicke leads them on an immaculate drive to win them the game with a walk-off field goal. And we are going to get to that drive in a second. Let's finish up some stats here, and then we'll get some more in depth in some plays here and what we saw and what we took away from the game. So let's stick here with Washington. Taylor Heinicke, a real great performance just besides that 1 interception. Everything else was real solid, not dinking and dunking, great completion percentage, great clutch ability. It was great. Antonio Gibson, rushing for Washington, absolutely fantastic. Terry McLaurin, like we said, 11 receptions for 107 yards, 1 touchdown, fantastic. J.D. McKissick, second leading receiver for this Washington team, 5 receptions for 83 yards, great. He had an immaculate catch as well that we are going to break down. I do believe we have that play up. Logan Thomas, the tight end here for Washington, got it done. He had a big play here. Let's talk about him since we're celebrating tight ends this season. Logan Thomas, third leading receiver here for Washington, 5 receptions for 45 yards, and this was his biggest play and biggest contribution of the game. Let's get this up here. A little out of order on these plays, so excuse us while we just search for them. They're all up, so no worries. But where is the specific play? Right here. All right, here we go. Logan Thomas, folks. 2 minutes left in the second quarter. 2 minutes, 54 seconds. Washington is down 7-10, and they're at their own 26-yard line. Washington's at their own 26-yard line. Let's see Logan Thomas get it done. So here we go. Taylor Heinicke fires over the middle of the field, and look at Logan Thomas, the big, strong, tall. What is Logan Thomas, 6'6"? I think he is kind of clocking in at 6'6" right here. Taylor Heinicke finds him right over the middle of the field here, and just look at Logan Thomas, full extension right here over the middle of the field, knowing he's going to get hit by the safety, but still catches the ball. Fantastic. A great ball here by Taylor Heinicke to just put it in the vicinity there for Logan Thomas to go up and get it. Maybe a little bit high, but that's what you can do when you got 6'6" wide receivers and tight ends. Use their heights. Throw the ball a little bit high. That's exactly where it needs to be, kind of high and exactly right on target, and it will either be a completion or it will drop harmlessly to the ground because these defensive backs, corners, and safeties, they're not 6'6", so they're not going to be able to go up and get that ball. So Taylor Heinicke plays it absolutely beautifully, and Logan Thomas, knowing he's going to take the hit, still is able to secure the ball. Now, why is this such a great play right here? Because they were able to go down and score off of this drive, a touchdown right before halftime. Logan Thomas makes this all possible. It's 2nd and 10, and they're at their own 25-yard line. Logan Thomas says, "Give me the ball. I'll bring you right to midfield." His best play was on a drive that resulted in a touchdown. Give the tight ends some credit out here, Logan Thomas. I mean, when we grade the tight ends on Tuesday's show, we're definitely giving Logan Thomas. I'll give him another A+. I think he had an A+ in his week 1 performance as well. I think I have that still marked up here. Let me check back in my notes. Did Logan Thomas get an A+ for his week 1 performance? What do we grade that man? Tight End University, everybody's getting credit. Everybody's getting grades out here. We gave Logan Thomas, we gave him a B+ for his week 1 performance, but he just got an A+ for this one catch alone. I don't care. Third leading receiver, and your biggest play resulted in a touchdown. I'm taking that all day. Well done, Logan Thomas, and your A+ will be awaiting you on Tuesday's show. So Logan Thomas, an absolutely great catch right there. Fantastic. All right, what else do we have here by Washington? De'Ami Brown, the rookie, solid contribution as well. 3 catches for 34 yards. He was targeted 6 times, though, but, hauled in some catches right there, building his confidence up. And overall, just a good game here by Washington to move the ball, put up 30 points, nice clutch ability, and we'll see what Taylor Heinicke can do. And it's a little interesting that, Taylor Heinicke had this great success in decent success last week as well, scoring in the second half, I think like early in the third quarter to put them out on top. Unfortunately, they lose, the game still, and I don't believe they scored in the fourth quarter, or I think their last score was kind of like, 10 minutes left in the third quarter, something like that. So, they do have to kind of still start building drives on top of drives and putting good drives on top of good drives to continue to put up points and to be continuously competitive, consistently competitive as the season progresses right here. But this was a great look and a great showing here for Taylor Heinicke, and we'll see what he can do moving forward now that we know Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be out for a decent while. And watching Taylor Heinicke last night, it's like, why? What did they see in Ryan Fitzpatrick that was so much better than Taylor Heinicke? That really, because, Ron Rivera said this was an open quarterback competition at the beginning of, of the offseason and training camp and all that. But, we really knew it wasn't an open quarterback competition. As soon as Ryan Fitzpatrick got there, he really won the starting job. All the wide receivers were gushing over, the quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, of where he was placing the ball and his energy and his tempo and his, sling ability. We know Ryan Fitzpatrick is a true gunslinger in this league. So it's just real interesting how well Taylor Heinicke played, but they still went with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Even though, he's obviously old in this league, Taylor Heinicke's a little bit fresher out there, a little bit younger. Ryan Fitzpatrick, a lot of interceptions, never really winning the big games and winning games consistently or anything like that. And you got Taylor Heinicke, who last season went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady in the playoffs, only lost by one possession, had the ball last in his hands, just couldn't get it going. But now, here we go. You give him another opportunity. I mean, the man has only started like 3 games in his entire career, and they still weren't going to go with him as the starter of the season. So it's still a little questionable why they made the decision with Ryan Fitzpatrick when we just got this great showing by Taylor Heinicke. Clutch, accurate, big arm, not afraid to take the shots. It's like, that's like what Ryan Fitzpatrick does. It's like Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't do anything that Taylor Heinicke doesn't do. We saw Taylor Heinicke have the big arm. We saw Taylor Heinicke have that pinpoint accuracy when it needed. We saw Taylor Heinicke with the clutch ability. I mean, could you imagine if Ryan Fitzpatrick made some of these throws? Well, let's talk about some of these throws since we're talking about some of these throws right here. Let's go to this touchdown in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left when they took the lead 27-26. Back-to-back plays right here. Let's watch these. We've got these queued up. Is it right here? Right here. Here we go, folks. Starting at their own 25-yard line. They're down 6 points. They need a touchdown. 4 minutes, 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter, starting at their own 25-yard line. Let's see what they do right here, because if Ryan Fitzpatrick was making these throws, the headline would be Fitzmagic again. It would be Fitzmagic taking over Washington. That would have been the big story today, folks. Fitzmagic is back. There was never any doubt that Ryan Fitzpatrick should have been the starter. He's so much better than Taylor Heinicke. Ron Rivera is such a big brain head coach for bringing in Ryan Fitzpatrick here. We know what Ryan Fitzpatrick could do when he's the starter. Miami should have never went to Tua last season because of Ryan Fitzpatrick is so good. Look at what he can do. It would have been a Ryan Fitzpatrick slurp fest, and I would have taken part in talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick's big playability. We would have gotten in on it, but it's like, he's not the only one that does it. And we saw what he did last week, week 1 before he got injured, never really moving the ball well. So it's just like Ryan Fitzpatrick gets this kind of like elevated superstar status because he's a backup, and that's all he is. He's not a starter in this league. So when he does kind of starting quarterback things, everybody gets excited, and I don't want to kind of take away from that excitement or knock Ryan Fitzpatrick or anything like that, but I'm like, yeah, it's a backup playing better than what he is. It's like, yeah, that happens sometimes. Like the Raiders last season, when Ryan Fitzpatrick was quarterbacking for the Dolphins against the Raiders and that big play really won him the game. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. It was great. But he's not the only quarterback that can do it. And, Taylor Heinicke just did it right here. So let's stop all the talking and get to the play right here. Here we go. They're going to score in 2 plays. They're going to win 75 yards in 2 plays, folks. Sheesh. So let's watch the first play right here. The first throw, Taylor Heinicke, empty backfield right here. Here we go. Drops back to pass. Little bit of a pump fake, and then lets it fly. J.D. McKissic right here on a nice little wheel route that takes it all the way down to the 20-yard line. Woo! Yes, sir. Taylor Heinicke puts this ball absolutely on the money right there. Right on the money. In stride. If Taylor Heinicke does not put this 100% on the money, he is out of bounds at the 50-yard line. It's still a great ball, but it's not that extra 30 yards after the catch. That's why we stress so much putting the ball 100% on the money. And when we look at completion percentage, we always look at the film of that game. Was it dink and dunk? Were they airing it out? Was it 100% on the money? Or was it the receiver, putting in all the work like Mitch Trubisky? His completion percentage is so inflated because he had Allen Robinson literally sacrificing his body over the middle of the field to catch wildly inaccurate balls by Mitch Trubisky. Taylor Heinicke did not do that right here. Exactly on the money, 100% in stride. That carries J.D. McKissic another 30 yards. Another 30 yards. It's so fantastic. And that's the big play there by J.D. McKissic, the running back. So we have Antonio Gibson, the great pure runner, and then J.D. McKissic, the running back that can catch the ball. Great as heck right there. Well done by both Taylor Heinicke and J.D. McKissic, putting them in the position to go and win this game. Take the lead again. You're only down 6. You need a touchdown. And J.D. McKissic and Taylor Heinicke absolutely brought it right there on that one play. But it didn't stop there. It did not stop there. Everybody's looking around. They're like, damn, he just made a big play. We saw Terry McLaurin make some big plays. You know who wanted to get in the big playability right here by Washington, seeing everybody have fun? Well, it was our man that nobody's heard of, Ricky Seals-Jones. One catch this entire game, and it was a big old catch right here, folks. Here we go. After the big J.D. McKissic pickup, now they're in the red zone from the 19-yard line. Let's see what Taylor Heinicke can do. The great red zone accuracy. Here we go. Play action pass, and Taylor Heinicke slings this ball, corner end zone to our man, folks. Our man, Ricky Seals-Jones. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Can we watch this play again? Taylor Heinicke went, oh, y'all need 100% accuracy on 2 passes? I could do that. 100% accuracy on these back-to-back passes in the fourth quarter, in the clutch when they're down 6 points, folks, in the fourth quarter. I mean, how much more clutch can you get, folks? Oh my, folks, I don't even know. When I saw this play last night, jaw dropped to the floor. Absolutely magnificent throw. Absolutely magnificent catch. We got to get a height on this man. Ricky Seals-Jones. What is this man? Because this man went up and played this ball like he's 6'4". Is he 6'4"? The man's looking like maybe 6'1", 6'2". Let's get his official stats up here and celebrate Ricky Seals-Jones. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Woof, the man really welcome to the league. Is he? I know nothing about this dude, folks. Ricky Seals-Jones. Oh, he's a tight end. Oh, he's a tight end. Tight end university, baby. Why? George Kittle, Travis Kelce. Why was Ricky Seals-Jones not invited to tight end university? That is the most disrespectful, blasphemous thing I've ever seen. Whoa, 6'5". Oh my goodness. Get it going, young fella. Sheesh. This man's been in the league forever, too. Damn, since 2017. Arizona, Cleveland, Kansas City. Why have you not been utilizing this absolute stud? Wasted his talent right here. It took this man 4 years to finally go to a team that will utilize his talents. It took Taylor Heinicke to utilize Ricky Seals-Jones's talent. Disrespectful. Oh, I think we found our new player. Our new favorite player, Ricky Seals-Jones. We're handing out grades on a weekly basis here to our tight end university participants, and Ricky Seals-Jones just scored himself an A+. Oh boy, one catch. It doesn't matter. His only catch of the season, folks. He didn't catch anything week 1. He didn't get targeted week 1. He got targeted here last night, and he made the absolute most of it. Holy moly, Ricky Seals-Jones, folks. Go pick him up in your fantasy. Go get this man. Absolutely magnificent. This man just booked his ticket to tight end university, his admission. Hey, Ricky Seals-Jones, I'm paying for your tuition to tight end university next season, baby. Go get that education and continue to grow. I'm paying full ride. Full ride. It's like Scott's Tots from The Office. It's gonna be takes by fans tight ends, TTs, baby. Takes by fans, tight ends. Get it going. Woo! I'm bringing every tight end to college next season, folks. Tight end university. I will pay for all your tuitions there. Woo! Ricky Seals-Jones, folks. Man, let's watch this one in slow motion to truly appreciate this. Woo! Oh my goodness, folks. Here we go. Ricky Seals-Jones, back corner of the end zone, full extension at 6'5", baby. That's what we're talking about, the 6'5", the 6'6" tight ends. Why we could never believe in Tebow at little old 6'2". Then 6'2" is not getting this done. If Ricky Seals-Jones is 6'2", he is not getting this done, folks. Woo! Oh my God! I had no idea the dude was a tight end, folks. Love it! Love it, these tight ends balling out. Logan Thomas, Ricky Seals-Jones. Ooh, Washington's got a cast of tight ends out here. Oh my goodness. Woo! Fantastic throw. Fantastic catch. 2 feet and bounce. Toe tapping. Tight ends out here toe tapping, folks. Who would have thought in 2020 tight ends would be toe tapping back corner of the end zone for the win? For the win, basically. At the time, it was for the win. Oh my goodness, folks. Ricky Seals-Jones truly getting it done last night. And that's Taylor Heinicke, baby. When the time called for it to go out and get the game won, to go out and get the game done, 2 back-to-back impeccable throws. Great catches by the second string running back. Great job by, what is this, the third string? Let's get the true disrespect up on the screen, folks. Let's see where this man is on the depth chart right here, folks. Let's get up Washington's depth chart. I would say this man is like the third string tight end right here. Oh, he's only number 2. Alrighty, all right. Maybe they just had to update this. They had him like number 4, number 5, and then after last night, they're like, oh my God, but this man has number 2 tight end out here. So, wow, folks, absolutely fantastic there. Whew, damn, Ricky Seals-Jones, folks. Jays, fantastic. Alrighty, so Taylor Heinicke coming up clutch, and then the Giants go down and score a field goal. Unfortunate. So let's see what happens here after that. Great touchdown there by Taylor Heinicke. Giants come out, they have to punt, and then, we get the interception by Taylor Heinicke, and then we get the stall drive here by Daniel Jones, and this is what we're kind of saying here by the Giants. No urgency. We saw it last week. A little bit more urgency here in this game, getting out to a good start, but on this final drive, it kind of seemed like they just settled for a field goal, just settled for the lead right now, and left 2 minutes on the clock for Taylor Heinicke to go down and win them the game. So let's go to this drive right here. Let's set it up a little bit right here. Okay, so here we go. Giants are down 1 point, 27-26. There's 2 minutes and 16 seconds left. They take over at Washington's 20-yard line because Taylor Heinicke just intercepted the ball. They run the ball on first down. They run the ball on second down. Washington is taking timeouts. They are chewing out those timeouts. And now we get 3rd and 7. But it's like, why are you chewing out the timeouts? I get you want to kind of leave as least amount of clock on the clock, the least amount of time on the clock as possible. I get that, but you're at the 20. You get a touchdown. You really put the pressure on Washington. You score a field goal. They score a field goal. You lose the game still. So I didn't really like that they were super conservative here after the interception. A run on first down, a run on second down. I get it to chew up the clock, but still, you've got Daniel Jones. You've got his dual threat ability. You've got great wide receivers. You can't get it done in the red zone to ice the game. Take the opportunity when you have a chance to go out and win the game. Take that chance to win the game. And the Giants just didn't do that last night. No urgency. No urgency by anybody. No kind of belief in anybody out here. Nobody wanting to take that last shot, that shot that either wins or loses you the game. Take that shot. But nobody takes the shot here for the Giants, and they lose. And kind of rightfully so. Be aggressive. Stop clamoring. Stop being a turtle. Stop being so afraid of making the wrong decision that you make a bad decision and not a rational decision. Just go out there and sling it around right here. You're at the 20. You're going to get a field goal regardless. Yeah, okay, you leave Washington with an extra couple of timeouts. Then you have to call on your defense. I mean, people have to step up. You have to stop playing, kind of worrying about putting players in a position where they would have to then step up. This is what they get paid for. This is what you practice for. This is what you play the game for, to win. You are out there, and you individually, an offensive player, a defensive player, you have the opportunity to make one play to single-handedly win or lose the game. That's what you play for. I want this opportunity. I'm sure Taylor Heinicke was clamoring for that final opportunity to put them in field goal position to win. I'm sure the kicker was like, yeah, get me in field goal position. I'll take that opportunity and win that game. Why weren't the defensive backs and corners doing that? You know what we mean? So it's like, stop playing so scared offensively because you don't want to put your defense in a bad situation. Just go out and win the game. Put your defense in a great situation. So I just didn't love the overall non-aggressiveness here. And then we get 3rd and 7, and we're going to get a Daniel Jones pass. Let's see what he does with it, what he does with this. Here we go, 3rd and 7. From Washington's 17-yard line. Here we go. Drops back to pass, slings over the middle, and Daniel Jones throws it about a yard short of the first down. Unfortunate. And they say, is this incomplete? Is this an incomplete pass too? Sterling Shepard, ball behind him, inaccurate by Daniel Jones, and even if it was caught, it would have been a yard short of the first down. So bad by both parties right there. Well, really all on Daniel Jones for, well, kind of on Kenny Galladay too, Sterling Shepard it was. Bad job there by Sterling Shepard to not get to that first down marker. Bad job by Daniel Jones to not put it right on the money, and it's an incomplete pass, and it brings up 4th and 7. So just unfortunate there. They got heated on the sideline a little bit as well. We're going to break that down. We see Kenny Galladay and Daniel Jones on the sideline barking at each other. And I've got no problem with this, and we're going to talk about this in a second as well once we're done breaking down the game. But, just tempers flare on the sideline. I mean, people are trying to win out here. I've got no problem with this. I mean, this doesn't show disrespect. This doesn't show, you not, obeying the leader and, all that. I've got no problem with the little kind of, tempers flaring, boiling over on the sideline. I mean, that's good. This is what competition is. People just wanting to win, and things get heated sometimes. I mean, it's all for the love of the game, it's all for the love of the sport. You come back tomorrow, everything's good, and even that's what they're saying. Even after the game, you're like, yeah, everything's good. Daniel Jones is like, after the game, yeah, me and Kenny are good. I love the dude. We've got respect for each other. It's just competition right here, folks. Nothing bad about getting barked at or barking at somebody on the sideline. I've got no problem with that. But yeah, Daniel Jones just incomplete there, and then they score a field goal that puts them in the lead for now. But now let's watch Taylor Heinicke put his team in the position to win this game right here. So here we go. Every play from Washington's game-winning drive. Let's see who stepped up at the biggest of big times, folks. Down 2 points, 29-27, 2 minutes left in the game at their own 25-yard line. Here we go. Only one timeout. Taylor Heinicke, first ball up. It's just a dink down there to Antonio Gibson that slides on his own for only about a 2-yard gain. All right, then we get 2nd and 8. Taylor Heinicke slinging it down the field and in a real bad position. Double cover, threw it high, threw it too high, but luckily it just falls incomplete. So that's why you can't get away with throwing it high, That's why you can't get away with throwing it high. Yes, it kind of gets batted up in the air, and it could get picked, but you got to make a spectacular catch, and usually defenders don't do that. But it brings up 3rd and 8. What can Taylor Heinicke do right here? Stands in the pocket, dumps it down to Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson comes down about a yard short. It's 4th and 1 now. Antonio Gibson takes the ball 1, 2, 3 yards right there. Antonio Gibson, another clutch shot right there. Fantastic by the man. Give that man credit. All right, after picking up the first down, Taylor Heinicke back to slinging it deep. Throwing to, is that Logan Thomas? It is. Logan Thomas for about 10 yards, 9 yards officially. Still driving, approaching midfield, not utilizing that last timeout just quite yet. They throw a flag. They got Giants in the neutral zone. So they pick up the first down automatically now. Here we go. Daniel Jones on 1st and 10. Slinging it to Antonio Gibson on a little bit of a wheel route. And Antonio Gibson, or no, this is J.D. McKissick. My fault. J.D. McKissick could not catch the ball right there, unfortunately. All righty, here we go. Back on 2nd and 10, bingo, bango, nice little slant route there to put them past midfield. De'Ami Brown, another clutch catch right there by the rookie. Very well done. Brings up 3rd and 5. Boom. Picks up the first down and more, and gets out of bounds because they already used that last timeout, so now they do have to play the boundary a little bit. Now they're in great position right here at the 35-yard line, 24 seconds left. They throw a slant to Taylor Heinicke. He brings it down to, or Terry McLaurin, I'm sorry. He brings it down to the 30-yard line. Fantastic catch there by Terry McLaurin, their best player. And then they spike the ball. Leaving 5 seconds left. They kick the field goal. It is no good. But what happens? They throw a flag. They throw a flag on the Giants for offsides. I mean, sheesh. Giants, every opportunity to win this game. Offensively, defensively, special teams. And they blew it after blowing it, after blowing it, after blowing it. The second attempt is good. Squeaks right in through the right upright, and they win the game off of that. So, man, oh man, the Giants had time and time again to win this game, but they squandered it because, once again, no sense of urgency. Now, we had the slow start out of the way in week 1 for the Giants. We had the no urgency game here in Washington. Now, week 3, we should be able to buy the Giants. Their offense should get everything right. The defense should get everything right. I mean, being down 0-2 should piss them off this entire week for a great week of practice, extra time as well, since it's a Thursday night game. So watch out for the Giants next week. Hopefully they have everything under them and they cleaned everything up, and the slow start has really only lasted for 2 weeks, and we're ready to rock with this Giants team from here on out. All right, so let's finish up the stats right here for the Giants, and then we've got like 2 plays left, and then we can wrap up this game. So here we go. Daniel Jones ends the game 22 of 32. Let's get that official completion percentage up here. Here we go. That is 68% completion percentage. We'll take that all day. 249 yards, real solid there. 1 touchdown, didn't turn over the ball either. Fantastic. All right, Daniel Jones, like we said, was the leading rusher as well with 95 yards. Saquon Barkley, a better performance than in week 1. 13 carries for 57 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, so real solid there. Definitely could have been utilized a little bit more out there because we know what Saquon Barkley is capable of, but, a game time decision, so not wanting to truly push it 1,000%. But we're hopefully, Saquon Barkley is getting better because we remember, early, or late in training camp, midway in training camp, we were kind of hearing that Saquon Barkley could potentially be out to like weeks 3 or 4. So now that we're getting into like week 3 or 4 here, Kenny Galladay shoring up, Daniel Jones shoring up, Saquon Barkley shoring up, this is when we can start buying the Giants. Next week will be kind of the last test week, and then from here, well, really, we're really kind of assuming that next week they step it up, but I think we will give them one more test/buffer week in week 3. We don't want to, and they still have to put up a good performance and a good fight for us to really kind of buy them week 4. But I don't think we should be jumping off the ship of the Giants. Really is what our main point here. Don't get down on the Giants. Yes, they're down 0-2, all this, but there's still plenty of time left in the season, obviously. Still plenty of time to catch the division. We know the Cowboys, they've got a tough opponent this week with the Chargers on the road. The Eagles have a tough opponent this week with the 49ers. So, at the end of week 2, everybody could be 1-1, and the Giants are just 0-2. You're right, still in it. So, don't jump ship on the Giants just quite yet. There's glimmers of greatness right here. They just have to get everybody 100% healthy, and the urgency has to increase. We hope they can do that. Saquon Barkley had a decent rushing night, 57 yards. Sterling Shepard, 9 receptions for 94 yards, only 1 incompletion, and we just saw that right there. Darius Slayton, 3 receptions for 54 yards and a touchdown. Kenny Galladay, 3 receptions for 38 yards. Kyle Rudolph, their tight end, 2 receptions for 25 yards. He had an all-right game. I think kind of really front-loaded in the first half, his offensive production, and then really wasn't utilized for the rest of the game. And they go to Kevin Rudolph because they don't have Evan Ingram. So overall, some real great bright spots here by the Giants and Washington. Their quarterbacks, their running backs, their wide receivers, a really entertaining close game that went right down to the wire. What more could you ask for? Alrighty, a couple of plays right here that we just want to close out with. So we talked about Daniel Jones rushing up the middle. Now let's look at this play right here. I believe this is going to be a big run here by Daniel Jones. Let's see what this one is. Here we go. Daniel Jones first half, it's a quarterback keeper. Now watch Daniel Jones rush here. It's fantastic. It's a great rush. We know he's got great speed, but that's not what we're focusing here on this clip. We know Daniel Jones is a big, beefy man, folks. Let's get up his official size. I want to say he's like 6'5", 230, I want to say, or 220, I want to say 220. Let's get that up quickly because this man is a beefy man. Like, people don't understand Daniel Jones is A, dual threat quarterback, and B, a beefy man, folks. He's 6'5", 221, exactly, right there, folks. So you got that running at you, and this man just absolutely eats this hit right here, folks. Absolutely eats this hit. Design quarterback run on 2nd and 6, first half, first quarter, and he takes it for the first down, and look at this defender absolutely laying him out. We'll let this entire replay play right here, but the defender throws a big shoulder in Daniel Jones to force him out of bounds. Daniel Jones doesn't go down. He stumbles a little bit, but he eats the hit, stays on his feet. Defender goes down to the ground. That's Daniel Jones, folks. Big, beefy, great runner out here. So this is a whole nother depth that you can be utilizing here in your overall offense, and we really wish they would use this a lot more, and they use it a lot. We saw, 9 rushes by Daniel Jones, so they were still utilizing him very much. But overall, we need the defense to tighten up, and we gotta utilize his speed more in the red zone, so they put up more touchdowns and not settle for field goals. But we know Daniel Jones can do that, so Jason Garrett's definitely got to kind of retool this offense just slightly. He's right on the door of having a great offense right here, but you have to settle. You cannot settle for field goals. You must score touchdowns. All right, what else we get here? We got a couple more plays we just want to highlight quickly. All right, next play up. Here we go. Daniel Jones in the red zone right here. Here we go. High snap, dumps it off, incomplete pass. Okay, yes. Okay, this is what we wanted to talk about here. Okay, here we go. Let's go talk about Chase Young, because remember he had a roughing the passer penalty on Daniel Jones in the first drive that really set the tempo for the Giants to get in the red zone and score the ball and get out to a 7-0 start. But the first play, watch Chase Young right here. Here we go. Daniel Jones is going to take off and run up the middle here because the pocket is collapsing. He gets tripped up at the line, and watching this live, I praised Chase Young for this non-hit. We see Chase Young just standing right here, staring down Daniel Jones coming his way. He could have kind of lost his he could have lost his fundamentals and took a big shot at Daniel Jones that probably would have got flagged. I mean, he's primed to just lay Daniel Jones out here. But what does he do? He doesn't take a big hit. Just make sure he's down. So I had praise for Chase Young of not licking Daniel Jones and getting a penalty, and then like 3 plays later he gets called for roughing the passer, which wasn't roughing the passer. Trash. So here we go, 2nd and 12, Daniel Jones incomplete pass. Chase Young fights between 2 defenders and lays out Daniel Jones. This is textbook. This should not have been roughing, but they do call roughing. We can get a better angle from the back replay right here. So, personal foul, roughing the passer on Chase Young. Real lame, folks. Real lame. Watch him right here. Here he goes. Breaks 2 defenders. Bingo, bango, splits them. And then as Daniel Jones is falling back, throwing the ball, he takes him down. But you can watch Chase Young kind of lay off as he's bringing him down to the ground. Look, he puts his hands out so he doesn't land on Daniel Jones. But they still call it roughing either. Anyway, so Chase Young, he's really sound in his fundamentals. You really don't see him getting penalties like this because he knows how to play the defensive end position, and he knows how to kind of play the game of, making a big hit and then when not to make a big hit so you don't get the flag. So just real unfortunate that they do flag him, but well done by Chase Young. I mean, this man is not kind of losing his fundamentals, losing his techniques, and going wild and hitting these quarterbacks. The man is sound as heck, and he's only in his 2nd year. You got to give the man praise for that. All right, I think that is all that I really wanted to point out here. And that was Thursday Night Football from last night, folks. Absolutely great game, right down to the wire, entertaining as heck, and Washington walks away with the win. So, well done for Washington. We'll see what Giants can do come next week if they can finally get a win on the board. But big takeaways, Taylor Heinicke looked real good. I'm real excited to watch this man be at the helm at the quarterback position for Washington for the rest of the season. And for the Giants, don't jump ship and don't jump overboard just quite yet. We knew they were going to get out to a slow start. They're 0-2. Their offense is showing real good glimpses right here. Daniel Jones is still on the cusp of being really, really great. We just have to see the consistency out of this team from start to finish, week in, week out, multiple weeks, spanning 6-7 weeks. That's what we got to see here, and hopefully they can start that journey next week. Who do they got next week? They got a tough opponent. Hopefully they don't. I don't want to see this Giants team against. Give them the Jaguars. Give them, and I know they've had 2 kind of soft opponents these first 2 weeks, but we got to just get their confidence up and their momentum up at the first win. So next week, the Giants, fantastic. At home against Atlanta. Exactly what the doctor orders here for the Giants. Look for them to get their first win come next week. All right, so that was Thursday Night Football. I guess we're not. Yeah, I don't really want to spend too much time on these quotes right here. So a little bit of a spat on the sideline, like we just were saying, between Kenny Golladay and Daniel Jones. They didn't take it personally. Nobody, it's not going to fester into anything. We get this quote here by Daniel Jones. Here we go. He says, quote, "I think he was frustrated with the situation, but I don't think it was to me or anyone in particular. We're all good. I love Kenny. I thought he played hard and did a lot of good things out there." So, once again, no hard feelings. And, him saying this right here, and this is exactly what it is right here. "I think he was just frustrated with the situation, but I don't think it was to me or anyone in particular. He was just voicing his frustration." I mean, folks, we talk about the work that is put in to 1 week, 1 down, 1 play of football. You train the entire week to get prepared for this one game. So, of course, things are, tensions are going to run high, especially when you're losing and you're not playing as well as you practice and not doing the things that you did in practice as well as you're doing in games and things like that. So it's just competition. It's just that it's nobody's getting their feelings hurt. These are grown men. They can take it. It's fine, folks. There's nothing to kind of, run away with the story. And then Ron Rivera has big praise for Taylor Heinicke, saying, quote, he's got a little swagger to him and his teammates feed off of it. They really do. And that, I mean, we had, people coming out of the woodwork there on that last final kind of drive, on the last final drive, and then on that touchdown drive that we saw, the Ricky Sean, damn, I forgot the name. I can't forget this man's name. Ricky Seals Jones right there. Fantastic. It's just a little questionable that they went with Ryan Fitzpatrick over Taylor Heinicke, but now he's got his opportunity and he's making the most out of it. We give the man credit for getting the win.